Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we invite you on a journey back to an iconic cinematic universe, a world where the impossible became, well, terrifyingly real.
Mm-hmm.
Cast your mind back to that electrifying moment you first witnessed genetically engineered dinosaurs burst onto the screen.
Yeah.
The sheer wonder, the primal fear,
Oh, yeah.
the audacious ambition. It was a real paradigm shift in filmmaking, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Groundbreaking stuff.
But what happens, you might ask, when that engineered terror, that incredible, impossible life, escapes the pristine confines of a theme park and is unleashed, unchecked, on a secret, wilder island?
Mm,
And what happens when, even more terrifyingly, it breaches the boundaries of that island and makes its way onto our very own city streets?
that's right. Today, our mission is to embark on a deep dive into the lost world, Jurassic Park, the 1997 sequel that dared to ask, what comes after disaster?
Exactly.
We're going far beyond just the thrilling plot points and the sheer spectacle of, say, a T-Rex in San Diego, though that is pretty spectacular.
It really is.
But we're here to unpack the profound questions this film raises about humanity's increasingly precarious place in the natural world, the relentless and often reckless pursuit of corporate ambition, and the sheer unstoppable force of the wild. Our goal is to extract those crucial nuggets of knowledge and insight from a detailed look at the film's narrative, its underlying, deeply resonant themes, and maybe even some of the clever cinematic choices that elevate it beyond just a simple creature feature.
Absolutely. For this deep dive, our source material provides an incredibly elaborate story. It meticulously details the intricate plot points, the fascinating character arcs, which show significant evolution from the first film, I think,
Definitely.
and the overarching messages that continue to resonate with us today, perhaps even more powerfully than they did back in 1997.
I think you're right about that.
So settle in, because we're about to explore a world where nature truly reclaims its own and where human hubris faces its most formidable challenge yet.
Let's do it.
All right, let's begin by unwrapping the events that set this new nightmare in motion. The original Jurassic Park on Isla Nublar, as we vividly recall, ended in utter catastrophe.
Complete chaos.
A complete, unmitigated disaster that seemingly closed the door on InGen's bioengineering dreams. But what exactly transpired in the 4 years that followed?
Right, because the world sort of moved on, didn't it? Or tried to.
Yeah, it feels like it. But this isn't just a casual sequel. It's presented as a direct, almost inevitable consequence of that first catastrophic failure. The film doesn't shy away from showing us the fallout and the secret history that lay beneath the surface.
What's truly fascinating here, and maybe one of the most significant revelations of this film, is that it immediately pulls back the curtain on a deeper, more clandestine layer of InGen's operations.
Okay.
While Isla Nublar was the public-facing, dazzling, but ultimately doomed theme park, the true starting point for these incredible resurrected creatures, the clandestine facility where the dinosaurs were actually conceived, bred, and nurtured before being transported to the display park, that was a completely different island. Isla Sorna. They cryptically referred to it as Site B.
Site B, right. I remember that reveal.
And this wasn't just a casual addition to the lore. It fundamentally redefined our understanding of InGen's ambition, their operational scale, and, frankly, the disturbing depth of their secrecy. It suggests a more industrial, almost factory-like approach to life itself.
So Site B wasn't just a secondary location. It was essentially the primordial factory, the hidden engine behind their audacious vision. Wow.
Pretty much.
That adds a whole new dimension to their hubris, doesn't it? It implies a longer, more systemic disregard for the inherent dangers.
Exactly. Not just one part gone wrong, but a whole hidden infrastructure.
And the very incident that kicks off this new nightmare, it happens there, on Isla Sorna, 4 years later. It's not another corporate blunder within a controlled environment. It's nature striking back, almost randomly, against the lingering remnants of human interference.
Yeah, it's almost like a loose thread getting pulled.
We witnessed this wealthy British family on vacation, ostensibly far from any known danger, and their young daughter, innocently, wanders off from their secluded beach. What she encounters isn't a friendly herbivore, but a terrifying and almost surgical attack by a swarm of small, incredibly agile dinosaurs, the Compsognathus, or as they're affectionately known, Cumpies.
Those little guys. Surprisingly vicious.
It's a chilling reminder that even the smallest threads of life, once unleashed, can unravel everything.
Precisely. And the immediate fallout from that seemingly isolated incident is crucial. It's not just a private family trauma quickly forgotten. The attack erupts into a full-blown international media scandal.
Right, it makes headlines.
This incident, seemingly minor in scale compared to the devastation of Isla Nublar, directly draws unwanted attention back to InGen, the very corporation that had meticulously tried to bury its past mistakes and swore it had everything under control.
So the cover-up failed.
Completely. This public exposure reestablishes the stakes, bringing renewed and intense public scrutiny onto a company that was already disgraced, forcing them back into the unwelcome spotlight. It's a powerful cinematic device.
Yeah.
It sets up the idea that even if you abandon your mistakes, those consequences can still come roaring back to haunt you, and in a very public, unavoidable way.
Here's where the narrative takes a truly interesting turn, showing the profound ripple effects of the first film's events. Remember John Hammond?
Oh, absolutely. Richard Attenborough spared no expense.
Exactly. The eccentric billionaire, the visionary, the grand showman who famously declared, "We've made living biological attractions so astounding that they'll capture the imagination of the entire planet."
His whole dream.
After the Isla Nublar fiasco, he's presented in a drastically different light. He's disgraced, yes, stripped of his empire and his dream, but he's also seemingly wiser, or at least humble.
Yeah, he's learned a hard lesson.
We find him bedridden, his grand dreams shattered, his health failing, but his perspective has undergone a fundamental, almost spiritual shift.
Indeed. His revelation to Dr. Ian Malcolm is a pivotal, almost confessional moment. He drops the bombshell that Isla Sorna is indeed Site B, the primary breeding and growth facility.
The secret's out.
He explains how a devastating hurricane hit the island several years prior, forcing InGen to abandon the facility entirely and evacuate all personnel. They just left.
Yeah.
The dinosaurs were simply left there, uncontained and unmanaged, left to fend for themselves in a wildly unpredictable natural environment.
Wow.
This abandonment is what truly created the Lost World aspect that gives the film its title, nature's unexpected, powerful, and utterly breathtaking reclamation of what humanity had so arrogantly unleashed.
Life finds a way, right?
Exactly.
Right.
It's a testament to life's relentless drive to persist, even against the odds.
So he just left them there, like a wild prehistoric preserve. That's quite a philosophical pivot from his original theme park concept, isn't it?
It really is.
It's almost an act of reverse engineering his own past. What's his new mission, then, after all this? Because it sounds like he's trying to correct past mistakes, but on a grander, more ethical scale, recognizing the profound errors in his initial vision.
He is. His new mission is a stark, almost poetic contrast to his initial dream of showcasing dinosaurs in a theme park for profit and awe. Bedridden and facing the ultimate consequences of his ambition, he now wants the world to see these dinosaurs in their natural, unconstrained habitat on Isla Sorna.
Okay.
More importantly, he wants to protect them from any further human exploitation. It's a crucial ethical pivot for him,
Right.
moving from a creator who sought control and commodification to a dying man advocating for preservation and reverence.
That's a huge shift.
The research team he dispatches to Isla Sorna isn't there to capture, contain, or even interfere. Their sole purpose is to document the animals in their wild state and gather irrefutable evidence to argue for the island's permanent preservation,
Just deserve.
hoping to keep it untouched by human hands. This immediately sets up the central, overriding conflict of the film, the clash between genuine conservation-minded preservation and ruthless, profit-driven exploitation.
Which, of course, brings us to our reluctant hero, Dr. Ian Malcolm.
Jeff Goldblum back again.
After everything he endured on Isla Nublar, the chaos, the near-death experiences, the constant feeling of, "I told you so." Why on earth would he agree to go back to a dinosaur-infested island?
Yeah, you'd think he'd run screaming in the opposite direction.
He's clearly not a man who seeks out danger.
Malcolm's motivations are primarily deeply personal, which makes his involvement incredibly relatable and human amidst the spectacle. His girlfriend, Dr. Sarah Harding,
Julianne Moore.
a brilliant paleontologist and behavioral expert, is already on the island. She went ahead, drawn by the irresistible scientific opportunity of studying these creatures in their wild state.
Ah, okay, so it's personal stakes.
Exactly. This adds a powerful layer of human connection and emotional urgency to what would otherwise be a purely scientific or ethical endeavor for him. His presence isn't driven by a thirst for knowledge or even a pure sense of duty,
It's worry.
but by profound concern and a fierce desire to protect someone he cares deeply about. It immediately grounds the fantastical elements in a very human narrative of love and worry.
And he certainly doesn't go alone. This expedition team is quite the eclectic mix, carefully assembled by Hammond. We have Mick Van Owen,
Vince Vaughn.
who is described as a video documentarian and, crucially, a staunch environmentalist.
Huh.
I get the strong feeling his deeply held convictions are going to be very important,
Oh, yeah.
perhaps even a little problematic for some of the other characters, the unfolding events.
Absolutely. Nick's role is incredibly significant because his environmentalist stance isn't just a label on his resume, it's a driving moral compass that directly foreshadows the deep conflict over exploitation that will define the rest of the film.
He's not just there to film.
No way. He's not merely observing, he's a proactive agent for the preservationist cause. Then you have Eddie Carr,
Richard Schiff.
the unassuming but indispensable tech and equipment specialist. His practical skills are quite literally essential for the team's survival in such an unpredictable and dangerous environment. He represents the unsung hero, the quiet competence that enables the more dramatic scientific endeavors.
The guy you definitely want on your side.
For sure, the gadget guy.
And, of course, in quintessential Spielberg fashion, a child. Malcolm's teenage daughter, Kelly Curtis,
Vanessa Lee Chester.
who bravely, or perhaps foolishly, depending on how you look at it, stows away on the expedition to be with her father.
Right, the stowaway element.
Her unexpected presence immediately brings the family and redemption theme into sharp focus, grounding the terrifying dinosaur action in a very human, very vulnerable narrative. It raises the stakes immeasurably for Malcolm.
The dynamic of this diverse team is expertly set up for the chaotic journey ahead. You have the theoretical mathematician, the pragmatic paleontologist, the proactive environmentalist, the essential tech guy, and the vulnerable but determined daughter.
Quite a crew.
Each brings a different skill set, a different perspective, and a different set of personal stakes, all of which will be tested to their absolute limits as they face the untamed, unpredictable nature of Isla Sorna.
You know it's not going to be smooth sailing.
Not at all. This combination ensures that the story isn't just about escaping dinosaurs, it's about how these very different human elements interact and clash under unimaginable pressure, forcing alliances and revealing true characters.
So with this mixed bag of scientists, activists, and a stowaway teenager, the expedition team finally arrives on Isla Sorna. Imagine the scene. They locate Sarah, Malcolm's girlfriend, alive and well, seemingly unharmed, and filled with an almost childlike enthusiasm for what she's observing on the island. It's not the scene of devastation or desolation you might expect from the site of a previous disaster. It's something entirely different.
That's right. What they discover is a truly thriving, self-sustaining dinosaur ecosystem. This isn't just a handful of escaped animals desperately clinging to life. It's a fully functional, diverse, prehistoric world, a testament to nature's resilience.
Wow.
The sources highlight various species, including the formidable Stegosaurus, the thick-headed Pachycephalosaurus, and the distinctive Parasaurolophus, all coexisting and roaming freely.
Amazing sight.
The camera work here, often wide and sweeping, isn't just showing us a list of dinosaurs, it's visually reinforcing Hammond's new vision, a grand, untamed canvas where nature, not man, is the true architect.
It's beautiful but dangerous.
Exactly. It subtly shifts the film's aesthetic from the contained terror of the first film to the sprawling, wild beauty and inherent danger of Site B. There's an initial sense of awe, almost a scientific utopia, before the inevitable human element, driven by very different motivations, disrupts everything.
And disruption is exactly what happens. Because that initial piece, that fleeting sense of wonder and scientific opportunity, doesn't last long at all. The true antagonist arrives on the scene.
Cue the ominous music.
And with them, corporate greed is unveiled in its most blatant, unrepentant, and dangerous form. It's the ultimate antithesis of Hammond's newfound philosophy.
This is where Peter Ludlow, John Hammond's ruthlessly ambitious nephew, steps in, played by Arliss Howard.
Right, the nephew.
His arrival signals an immediate, jarring shift in the film's tone and stakes. Ludlow embodies the exact kind of unchecked corporate ambition and predatory exploitation that Hammond is now desperately trying to fight against.
He didn't get the memo about preservation.
Not even close.
Oh.
His plan is incredibly dangerous and utterly self-serving, a horrifying echo of the original Jurassic Park's failures. He intends to capture a substantial number of dinosaurs from Isla Sorna and transport them back to the mainland to build a new Jurassic Park, this time in the densely populated urban environment of San Diego.
San Diego. Is he insane?
It seems that way. This directly contrasts with Hammond's preservation efforts and dramatically elevates the conflict from a remote island struggle to a potential urban catastrophe.
And Ludlow isn't messing around. He's learned nothing from the past. He brings a serious contingent, a well-armed team of professional hunters, heavy-duty vehicles.
The late Pete Postlethwaite as Roland Tembo, the great white hunter.
Oh yeah, him. And all the specialized equipment necessary to trap these magnificent wild animals. It's a full-scale, organized industrial effort to exploit nature for purely commercial gain.
It really drives home that point about unchecked ambition, proving that for some, the lessons of disaster are simply opportunities for a different kind of profit.
It's chilling.
What's truly fascinating here is the stark, almost ideological clash. On one side, you have Hammond, now enlightened and advocating for nature to be left alone, for a hands-off approach. On the other, Ludlow, embodying the very profit-driven, control-obsessed mindset that led to the first disaster. The resources he brings, the sheer scale of his operation, demonstrate the frightening depth of his ambition and his fundamental lack of respect for the wild, sentient creatures he seeks to commodify.
They're just assets to him.
Exactly. He sees them not as living beings, but as assets, as property to be acquired and displayed for entertainment and enormous profit. It's a chilling reflection of how market ideology can externalize costs onto nature and society, creating a scenario where the pursuit of gain blinds individuals to catastrophic risks.
Which brings us to the pivotal point of no return. An act of defiance that fundamentally shifts the entire narrative and plunges everyone into a new level of peril. Nick Van Owen, the environmentalist on Malcolm's team,
Back to Vince Vaughn,
is absolutely horrified by this blatant exploitation. His stance isn't passive observation. It's a deeply felt moral conviction that drives him to take decisive, albeit incredibly risky, action. He's not content to merely document. He feels compelled to intervene.
Indeed. Nick's act of sabotage is the critical turning point, the spark that ignites the film's second act of chaos. He deliberately frees the captured dinosaurs from Ludlow's temporary enclosures.
Okay, that's bold.
And more significantly, releases a baby Tyrannosaurus rex, intending to reunite it with its parents. His motivation is clear: to utterly disrupt Ludlow's unethical, dangerous operation and allow nature to reclaim what was so brutally taken.
Noble intentions, maybe?
But the consequences.
Yeah. He believes in the principle of non-interference, but finds himself forced to interfere against the exploiters.
And the consequences are immediate, brutal, and utterly devastating. This isn't some minor setback for Ludlow's team. This is an all-out primal retaliation.
The T-Rexes are not happy.
Not at all. The adult Tyrannosaurus rex pair, driven by instinct and a fierce, terrifying desire to protect their offspring, attacks the human camps with incredible ferocity. They systematically destroy vital equipment, including the specialized vehicles that provided some measure of safety, making the humans incredibly vulnerable. That whole sequence with the trailer hanging over the cliff, pure nightmare fuel.
Oh, yeah. And tragically, Eddie Carr, the team's pragmatic tech specialist, whose skills were so essential, is killed in a horrifying sequence, caught between the two rampaging predators.
Ripped in half.
Brutal. His death is a significant early casualty that truly solidifies the immense danger, eliminates a crucial lifeline, and raises the personal cost for everyone involved, proving the ultimate folly of trying to control these creatures.
What's fascinating here is how this single, desperate act by Nick forces the narrative into a completely new and fraught dynamic. Both groups, Hammond's conservationists and Ludlow's exploiters, once adversaries,
Get stuck together.
are now stranded and incredibly vulnerable, stripped of their resources and their distinct objectives. They have absolutely no choice but to cooperate as they embark on a perilous, desperate journey through the dangerous, now predator-infested island, aiming for a communications center to call for rescue. This creates a fascinating, tense, and deeply uncomfortable alliance where former enemies must rely on each other for sheer survival.
Talk about awkward teamwork.
Setting up incredible internal human conflicts alongside the external dinosaur threat. It highlights how shared existential peril can sometimes forge temporary, uneasy bonds, even between diametrically opposed ideologies.
So now we're deep into the gauntlet. They're stranded, vulnerable, and forced together by circumstance. The journey through Isla Sorna isn't some scenic hike or a scientific expedition anymore. It's a desperate, brutal struggle for survival
Every step is dangerous.
against a landscape teeming with unpredictable, unforgiving prehistoric predators. Every shadow, every rustle of leaves, every strange sound is a potential harbinger of death.
This section of the film truly highlights the overwhelming power of the dinosaurs and underscores the utter futility of human attempts at control. The source material specifically draws our attention to iconic encounters, such as the terrifying sequence with the raptors in the tall grass.
Oh, the tall grass scene, that's legendary.
It is. This particular scene, renowned for its masterful suspense and visceral terror, is where the sheer cunning, intelligence, and lethal coordination of the velociraptors are truly showcased.
They're smart hunters.
Incredibly. It's not just about brute force, it's about their strategic hunting, their ability to stalk unseen, turning a seemingly innocuous landscape into a death trap. Imagine the tension as the survivors try to move silently through that waist-high grass.
Don't go into the long grass.
Right. Every rustle, every shadow, a potential threat. The film masterfully exploits our primal fear of the unseen, turning an open field into a claustrophobic nightmare. It's a relentless demonstration that nature, when truly unbound, is beyond human management or even comprehension. And its apex predators are far more sophisticated than mere beasts.
And it's a constant, relentless threat, a war of attrition. One by one, as the source tells us, both teams suffer casualties. Their numbers are shrinking dramatically. And every step, every decision, every moment of hesitation is fraught with immediate, life-ending danger. You can feel the desperation mounting with each loss, the slow, agonizing realization that survival is a rapidly diminishing possibility.
This raises an important question. What happens to human dynamics, to trust, to leadership, when the external pressure is so immense and relentless?
Now, how do they cope?
As the dangers of the island prove overwhelmingly powerful and inescapable, tensions inevitably rise even amongst those who are forced to cooperate. The internal human conflict, the fear, the distrust, the blame, the fundamental disagreements over strategy.
The hunters versus the scientists.
Exactly. It adds another complex and psychologically taxing layer to the already terrifying external dinosaur threat. It vividly shows that even when faced with a common existential enemy, human nature and its inherent flaws can still complicate survival, eroding solidarity and making escape even more precarious. This constant attrition reinforces the idea that true wilderness, once awakened, possesses an overwhelming, uncontainable power that systematically dismantles human order and control.
Amidst all this escalating chaos and dwindling hope, Malcolm and Sarah have to make a desperate final push. They know their only real chance for survival is to reach that communication center on the island's highest point.
The old InGen operations building.
It's a frantic race against time, with predators lurking in every shadow and the very ground beneath them threatening to give way. The sheer exhaustion and terror must be unimaginable.
The crucial moment arrives when they finally manage to make contact with a rescue helicopter. It's a brief, fragile window of hope in what had seemed like an unending nightmare scenario.
Finally, a way out.
And despite the utter chaos and the profound danger they've faced, it's worth noting Kelly's presence during this harrowing escape. Even in the midst of this terrifying ordeal, the family theme persists and is powerfully reinforced.
She made it.
As she, Malcolm, and Sarah are ultimately airlifted to safety, it reinforces that core thread of human connection and the ultimate desire to protect those you care about, even when surrounded by unparalleled danger.
No.
Suggesting that personal responsibility and connection can be powerful motivators for survival.
You'd think, after surviving such a harrowing escape, one might hope for a moment of peace, a breath of relief. Yet, as the film starkly reminds us, unchecked ambition often brings its own, even greater horrors.
It's not over yet.
Not by a long shot. And Ludlow, ever the architect of his own downfall, was about to unleash San Diego's worst nightmare. Because despite all the chaos, despite the destruction and loss of life on Isla Sorna, he actually succeeds in his ultimate act of corporate hubris.
He got them off the island.
Transporting the male T-Rex and his baby to San Diego. This is the unforeseen consequence, the ultimate violation of nature, bringing the beast home. It's a chilling realization that sometimes the greatest dangers aren't just on a remote island, but can be brought directly to your doorstep.
What's absolutely fascinating here is the immediate, almost inevitable catastrophe that unfolds the moment the ship docks. Upon arrival, during transit from the ship to the planned new Jurassic Park attraction.
What could possibly go wrong?
Everything. The adult T-Rex escapes its containment. Suddenly, this incredible, ancient, prehistoric predator is not just wreaking havoc in a desolate jungle, but is unleashed upon a densely populated modern city.
Oh my God.
The visual and thematic contrast is stark and utterly terrifying. On Isla Sorna, the T-Rex was an apex predator, albeit a recreated one, in its wild natural habitat. In San Diego, it becomes an utterly alien, destructive force,
Chaos.
transforming an urban environment designed for human life and order into an unpredictable, primal hunting ground. The sheer absurdity and terror of the situation are brilliantly captured.
And the source material really brings this to life, with specific, visceral, and terrifying images that are burned into our collective memory. We're not just told it caused panic, we're shown the T-Rex stomping through the suburbs, casually crushing cars,
People running for their lives.
sending people scattering in sheer, unadulterated terror. But there's one bizarre and chilling detail that really sticks with you, a moment that perfectly encapsulates the surreal horror.
You know what you're going to say?
It even takes a casual drink from a backyard swimming pool.
That swimming pool moment is a masterstroke of cinematic irony, perfectly encapsulating the surreal and unstoppable nature of the threat. It's a domestic, mundane setting, a symbol of suburban tranquility suddenly, violently invaded by the primordial.
It's so weirdly calm, too.
It highlights the stark, almost comedic contrast between the dinosaurs and their natural island habitat where they, however anachronistically, belong, and their utterly destructive alien presence in a human urban environment. It's a visceral illustration of nature unbound,
Totally.
showing us that these creatures are not just dangerous, they are fundamentally untamable and cannot be integrated into human civilization without catastrophic civilization-threatening consequences. The scene is a masterclass in using everyday settings to amplify horror.
So with San Diego plunged into chaos, a truly unthinkable nightmare, Malcolm and Sarah, the only ones who have survived the island and truly understand what they're dealing with.
The unlikely experts.
They rush back to the mainland. Their harrowing experience on Isla Sorna makes them uniquely positioned to understand and, crucially, to combat this unprecedented urban threat. They know how these animals think, how they behave,
They've seen it firsthand.
and perhaps what might lure them back. They're the reluctant but necessary experts.
What's truly ingenious here, and a testament to their combined understanding of dinosaur behavior, is their incredibly risky strategy. They realize the only way to lure the adult T-Rex back to the ship, back to a form of containment,
How do they do it?
is to use its own offspring as bait. It's a desperate gamble, relying entirely on the creature's innate parental instincts and its profound bond with its baby.
Using the baby Rex.
Right.
Clever, but wow, risky.
Very. This highlights that while humans are often the root cause of these ecological disasters, sometimes their ingenuity, derived from understanding nature itself, is also their only path to mitigation, even if it involves manipulating nature's own powerful primal forces. It's a nuanced approach to problem solving, acknowledging that brute force often fails against such a threat.
And Ludlow, true to his relentlessly greedy character, makes one final, desperate, and utterly misguided attempt to recapture the baby T-Rex for his twisted park plans.
Just can't let it go.
But his corporate greed ultimately leads to his ironic and fatal end. He is killed by the very creature he sought to exploit, trapped and consumed inside the ship's cargo hold, no less.
Poetic justice, maybe. His death serves as a powerful, unambiguous cautionary tale about unchecked ambition and the ultimate cost of commodifying nature. It's a clear and chilling message. Those who seek to control and exploit these powerful forces for pure profit often end up consumed by them, becoming victims of their own hubris. The section concludes with the successful return of the adult T-Rex and its offspring to Isla Sorna,
Back where they belong.
signaling a temporary reestablishment of ecological balance. But it's a balance achieved at great human cost and after immense urban destruction, profoundly underscoring the film's central warnings about human interference. The return to the island, specifically, underscores the idea that some things simply belong in the wild, untamed, and separate from human civilization.
As the chaos subsides and the immediate threat passes, we move to the film's profound echoes and lasting lessons, nature's final, undeniable word in this saga.
Wrapping it up.
The film concludes with these poignant final scenes, a sobering return to the lost world as it should be. We see a news broadcast showing footage of dinosaurs now living freely and undisturbed on Isla Sorna,
A fragile piece.
a world reclaimed by its ancient inhabitants.
This visual reinforces the ultimate triumph of nature over human interference. It's a powerful, almost spiritual statement that despite humanity's best efforts to control, exploit, or even destroy, life finds a way to persist, adapt, and reclaim its domain, asserting its inherent wildness.
And Hammond gets the last word.
He does. John Hammond, in his concluding appeal to the global community, reinforces this core message with his dying breath. He passionately argues that the island must be left untouched, that nature must be allowed to take its course without any further human interference.
A plea for quarantine.
A plea for non-intervention. This is his final, powerful testament, and really the film's central moral, underscoring his complete transformation from a hubristic exploiter to a humbled advocate for preservation.
It's a powerful, almost redemptive arc for a character who started the entire franchise.
Absolutely.
This brings us to diving deeper into the overarching themes of The Lost World. The first, and perhaps most prominent, is the stark, undeniable contrast between human arrogance and nature's unstoppable, overwhelming power.
The core conflict, really.
The entire film, from start to finish, serves as a comprehensive, chilling cautionary tale, expanding on the core message of the first movie with even greater spectacle.
Absolutely. Think about it. From the initial irresponsible act of bioengineering these creatures into existence, fundamentally playing God with life itself,
Right?
to attempting to control them on Site B with inadequate safeguards, and then the ultimate hubris of bringing them to the heart of San Diego. Every single human attempt at control, at management, at commodification, at containment leads directly and inevitably to disaster.
We just never learn.
The narrative consistently proves that nature, in the end, cannot be truly contained, cannot be commanded, and will always find a way to assert its dominance. This isn't merely a creature feature. It's a chilling prophecy about our own hubris in the face of complex systems, be it climate, pandemics, or even disruptive technologies. The film asks, are we truly learning from our lost worlds, or are we doomed to keep recreating them in new, unforeseen ways? It's a relentless demonstration of humanity's limited capacity in the face of such raw, primordial power.
Then there's the scathing critique of corporate greed and ethical responsibility, a theme that feels incredibly relevant even today.
Oh, for sure.
We see InGen's initial irresponsible bioengineering that created the problem in the first place, driven by profit and prestige, and then Ludlow's blatant, dangerous exploitation of that problem for even more immediate financial gain.
It's like doubling down on the mistake.
It's a double dose of corporate malfeasance.
This raises a crucial question that the film dramatically poses. What happens in an ethical vacuum when profit motives overshadow all other considerations? Safety, environmental impact, even basic human morality.
Good question.
The film vividly illustrates the devastating consequences of such unchecked ambition. Ludlow's actions are driven solely by the desire to monetize these creatures, to turn unimaginable power into a box office attraction, completely disregarding the inherent dangers.
He just sees dollar signs.
The ethical implications of unleashing them upon an unsuspecting world, or the lessons learned from the first catastrophe. He is willing to sacrifice everything, including human lives and the safety of an entire city, for his vision of a profitable park.
Wow.
It's a powerful statement about the broader societal implications when a corporation prioritizes financial gain over environmental stewardship, public safety, and basic ethical boundaries. Ludlow isn't just a cartoon villain, he's the embodiment of a market ideology that externalizes costs onto nature and society.
It makes you think.
The film forces us to confront, at what point does innovation cross into exploitation, and what are the real-world T-Rexes we unleash when profit supersedes ethics, particularly when dealing with forces we barely understand?
And surprisingly, amidst all this chaos and terror, there's a very human element woven throughout. The powerful theme of family and redemption.
Yeah, it's not all dinosaurs eating people.
We see how Malcolm's relationship with his daughter Kelly and with Sarah evolves throughout the film, transforming him beyond the cynical, if prophetic, chaos theorist we met in the first movie.
His initial reluctance to join the mission, born from past trauma and a justified cynicism, gradually gives way to a fierce protectiveness. Not just for his own family, but for the principle of preservation itself.
He steps up.
He does. This journey is about more than just escaping dinosaurs. It's about Malcolm's deeper understanding of responsibility, both personal and scientific. He's forced to confront his own fears and step up as a protector, something he initially resisted. This human element grounds the grander, more terrifying narrative, reminding us that even in the face of nature's untamed power, our connections to each other remain paramount. It's about finding that balance between the awe of nature and the profound responsibility we have to protect both it and each other. A message of hope amidst the destruction.
So ultimately,
Uh,
how does The Lost World, Jurassic Park, fit into the broader franchise? It clearly expanded the universe beyond the initial disaster of Isla Nublar,
Took it off the island.
bravely bringing the dinosaurs, albeit briefly, to the mainland, escalating the threat exponentially.
What's truly fascinating here is that while it dramatically expanded the geographic scope of the Jurassic universe, even daring to bring a T-Rex into a modern city, it ultimately reinforced the foundational message established in the first film.
Which was,
Humans cannot and absolutely should not try to control nature, especially not when that nature is resurrected and engineered. It took that central truth and played it out on a grander, more chaotic, and visually spectacular stage.
bigger scale, same message.
Exactly, showing that even with all of our technology, our scientific ambition, and our desperate attempts at containment, we're still subject to the immutable laws of the natural world. It doubled down on the idea that some forces are simply too powerful, too complex, and too wild to be contained or commanded by human will.
A louder warning, maybe.
Yeah, cautionary tale amplified, a warning echoing across vast, untamed landscapes and through crowded city streets.
So to recap our incredible journey today, we started on a secret island breeding ground, Isla Sorna, then uncovered the catastrophic consequences of human abandonment and unchecked corporate greed.
Right.
We then plunged into a desperate fight for survival against nature unbound, culminating in the unthinkable, a modern city under siege by a prehistoric predator.
T-Rex on the loose.
The consistent, chilling message woven through every terrifying moment, every desperate escape, every act of human folly is clear. Some things, some incredible, powerful forces are meant to be left wild, untouched, and uncontained.
So what does this all mean for us beyond the thrilling action and the incredible spectacle of the film? This deep dive isn't just about genetically engineered dinosaurs. It's about the ever-present tension between human ambition, our relentless desire for control and profit, and the unpredictable, overwhelming power of the natural world. It challenges us to consider our own ethical boundaries when faced with the allure of technological progress, the promise of immense financial gain, or the deceptive comfort of believing we can manage complex systems without unforeseen consequences.
Yeah, where do we draw the line?
It asks us to reflect on the profound responsibility that comes with our capacity to innovate and manipulate the very fabric of life.
And that leads us to a final thought for you to ponder long after this deep dive is over. If The Lost World showed us nature reclaiming its own, a powerful reassertion of primordial force over human design, what happens when we, in our relentless pursuit of progress and discovery, uncover or create our own lost worlds? Those places, ideas, or even technologies we thought we could completely control, harness, and understand, only to find them roaring back in unexpected, dangerous, and utterly untamable ways. What profound wisdom can we truly draw from Isla Sorna's enduring primal lesson for our own future as we navigate an increasingly complex and interconnected world?